The second stage of his procession would be on the land, and this is in Isaiah 63, verse 1 to 6. It says, "Who is this who comes from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah?" And Bozrah is modern-day Jordan. So after his procession in the sky, Jesus will descend and land on Mount Sinai in Egypt. And he would pass through the city of Bozrah in Edom. And as he does that, he will come against the enemies of God and he will kill them. And that is why his garments will be stained with blood, because he has waged war against the enemies of the kingdom. And this is Isaiah 63, verse 2. Where the people ask, "Why is your apparel red and your garments like one who treads in the winepress?" And so this gives us a picture of him as that judge, as the one who will conquer all who come against his very kingdom and his people. So during this time, Jesus will assemble all the captives of Israel who have been scattered during the Great Tribulation to the surrounding nations. And he himself will lead them out of the gates of the prison camps. He would gather them to himself. Micah 2 verse 12, it says that, "I will surely assemble all of you, O Jacob. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel and will put them together like sheep of the fold." And he would come and restore his people back to himself. Jesus will also be that greater Moses who will release the bowls of wrath as the end-time plagues of Egypt and totally destroy all his enemies. And as the people of God, it will be a glorious time because we will get to partner with God in releasing his judgments against the enemies of God's kingdom. So this is the second stage, where it is the procession on the land, which will last for about 10 days. And the last stage of Jesus' second coming procession would be his procession into Jerusalem, and this would be about 5 days. He would put an end to the final phase of the Antichrist Armageddon campaign at the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and we can see this in Joel 3 verse 1 to 17, Zechariah 14 verse 1 to 12, Revelation 16 verse 12 to 16. And this is really the pinnacle of the second coming of Jesus, where he makes that triumphal entry into Jerusalem, where he will be received as king by the governmental leaders of Israel. So this is the high point of natural history, because we must remember that in a time where Jesus returns, the nation of Israel will be heavily oppressed, persecuted, and even ruled and reigned by the Antichrist. Jesus would come into Jerusalem, and if we recall Matthew 23 verse 39, it says that, "For I say to you, you shall see me no more till you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." So the people of Israel would come to a place where they realize that they have no answers, but they will cry out to Jesus to come and deliver them. And so this is where he would enter into Jerusalem, and he would split the Mount of Olives in two, even creating a way of escape for his people, as seen in Zechariah 14 verse 4 to 5. So the empire of the Antichrist and Satan will stand no chance when Jesus enters into Jerusalem, and because he would deliver his people, and from there he would establish his millennial rule and bring forth that restoration of his kingdom on the earth. He would restore Jerusalem, he would establish the millennial temple, and he would establish his throne and rule from the city of Jerusalem. And at this point of time, he would also appoint kings and priests for his kingdom. So to sum it up, Jesus' second coming procession begins in the sky at the seventh trumpet with the rapture of the saints, and ends on the earth after the release of the seventh bowl, which will end the Armageddon campaign. And this is where he would split the Mount of Olives, he would bring forth deliverance for his people, and he would establish his kingdom rule in Jerusalem and from Jerusalem. So we need to have both paradigms of the spiritual dimensions and also the natural dimensions when we want to understand even the second coming procession of Jesus at the end of the age. So I encourage you to also look at the notes, look at the scriptures that are listed there, even to go deeper and develop your own understanding and your own conviction, because it's going to be the most glorious time even for the people of God. So bless you, and see you at the next session.